Jake!
Corey, man.
Good to see you again. How you been?
Been great. Never been better.
You look just gleaming, man. You look like
Man.
you're happy. Everything's
Feeling
going
good.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. Things are going good on all fronts. So school was good. The classes we had for rehab counseling I've done here, I'm feeling great about.
Great.
Everything's all lined up, and
I'm happy to see that smile on your face, man.
Yeah,
And,
man. Just excited.
we can talk about that. First of all, as always, as we found out from the beginning, is that confidentiality is huge here. So obviously, nothing that we talk about goes out of this office. But
yeah, no problem.
So I was actually wondering, how's the newborn? How's the son doing?
It's good, man. Being a dad is it's an awesome feeling. So
New frontier, huh?
new frontier, man. It's been fun. Every day's a joy, and the great thing too is I've really learned how to maximize my time.
Good.
So I've got undivided time with him, and it's not, it's not interfering with school and work. It's not interfering with my time with my son. So it's been great.
Now the big question is, how's the wife doing?
Oh yeah. Well, she's doing good with she's supporting me with getting done with school. So it's for a greater purpose. So
Absolutely.
everything's
Absolutely.
and starting that master's program, and we're all on the same page here. So pretty excited.
That's huge. That's huge to be on the same page. And your son's going to look up to what you're doing. Eventually see what Dad did.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too.
That's something you can always, you can rub off on him for that. So
Yeah.
What else is going on? Anything in your life? Anything you want to talk about?
Just all positive stuff. When I further reflect, I think the best thing from me coming in here and meeting with you and talking is I'm realizing that I've always had these fears in the past about money or about not being able to be successful, and this experience just kind of, there's just a self-realization I came to that
Sure.
I've got this, and things can come together. You just gotta think it through, take action, and be positive. And so I think I've really released that fear of that scarcity mindset, or not being successful, or not thinking I can finish what I want to do. And man, when I look back, I felt like earlier I came here and I was not sure I could even do the program.
Right.
It was just too much going on, and now I realize I can. And if I can do that, what can't you do? That's where I'm at now.
And we talked about in the first session, we talked about prioritization and
Yeah.
looking at past choices and how that affected you.
Yeah.
Second session, we talked about putting a plan into action and kind of starting to prioritize, maybe pushing those obstacles out of your tunnel.
Yeah.
So we can see that. What I want to talk about now is how do you come to the realization that, hey, I've got this, the calmness, overcoming that fear and the choices. What kind of led you to that path, do you think? What was the tipping point?
Meeting in here and just deeper thought within myself. I think it's like self-reflection on my life.
Good.
And I did in the past second guess myself often, and that created that fear. But after really the first session, I went home and I thought about it and I go, what haven't I been able to accomplish?
Exactly.
And then if I would have found a bunch of things that I struggled to be successful at that I really wanted, maybe this would have been still here. But I didn't find that.
Right.
When I looked inside myself, I found, man, if I want something, I've got a track record of creating it with my effort, and I get organized and things fall in place and people work with me, and I go, I've never found a time when that wasn't coming together.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put that all together, then it was just like trying to get that mindset of not living in the past, of that past mindset. And so then I just trying to change my mentality. And then once things fell into place for this situation, which was, the most important one because it's the present one, with school, as far as it being partially paid for, with my work being flexible about my master's, with my wife and I coming up with a plan for the finances, and just she being supportive, and then everything was just aligned. I just realized, I was like, wow, this is a perfect example of creating anything I want in my lifetime. So that's when it came together. Probably that first session, I started really thinking back in my life, and I found nothing but positive.
So it sounds to me like it was you trying to overcome, and you said something really poignant, really great. I want to relate back to is that you were saying to yourself, "What haven't I overcome?"
Yeah.
That sounds to me like every time you would try and take a step forward in this new direction, something from your past,
Yeah.
some decision, some angle, some journey, or a choice crept up. Do you think that was the cause of that fear, is reflecting on past choices that kind of kept you from continuing forward?
You know, the fear, I don't know where that came, I don't even know where it came from, if I'm being really honest here. I've had nothing but positive experiences. You know, when I think about what I want to accomplish,
Right.
you know, I'd say, yeah, I don't really know where that insecurity even really came from. I think I just made it all up. I think it was a story I created in myself. And maybe it was a mechanism to, you know, I played football in college.
Yeah.
And in sports, I was always the smallest guy. And maybe that like little
But
man
tenacious.
syndrome, yeah. But maybe that little man syndrome of like, you know, I used to always have this fear that like I wasn't going to be good enough, or you know, or you know, I always wanted, you know, I met my dad when I was 17, so and maybe as a childhood, I always wanted to be recognized, and sports was my way, and I was afraid if I didn't play well, some dad wouldn't come up to me and say good game, or I don't know, maybe that's where it came from. I think it came from wanting to be successful and wanting to be loved and all those things, and then the fear of not creating that, and the fear of not being good in sports, which was my way to be praised by other, you know, people. Maybe that's where it stems from. I've thought deep about that, but really, other than that, I have no reasons to really. I have no real experiences of me not being successful at things I wanted to create. So it was really a story I created for myself in the past.
That's a tremendous revelation I think you have. But digging deeper, let me ask you this. Do you think that tenacity, that feeling that you had to prove something at all times, do you think that was more for the outside show, for others to see that Jake can prove himself in this area? Or do you think you were trying to prove things to yourself?
I wanted the attention.
Okay.
So it was for the outside show. I wanted a father. So I think as a child, you know, I wanted somebody to, you know, I wanted a male role model to give me a hug, man, tell me he's proud of me, you know. So
Completely
it was
understand.
for that. But then it was also I've always had a tenacious personality. I mean, I'm extremely competitive. You know, I had a stepbrother as a child, and we would walk to the car, and I had to touch the car before he touched the car. I mean, I just was obsessed with always winning. And so I've always had this competitive personality within myself. So I think it's a combination of both.
Great.
It's a combination of both.
So going forward, as we're looking at making choices that reflect or that benefit our future aspects rather than our past choices, going forward, do you think you can channel that focus into, let's ignore everybody else out there? Because I know you want to feel that inner security from others. You want to be loved. You want to be, as you said, hugged. But I think now that you're reflecting on your past choices, your focus is on you and accomplishing what you set your goals to be. So what choices do you think you can make now going forward that'll benefit you and your drive, your inner, you know, drive to prove to yourself? And you really feel like you still need to prove to yourself.
Yeah, those that need to be loved by, you know, a male figure or whatever. I think that left a long time ago. For me. I left a long time. I've been to counseling. I met my dad. All those things went away a long time ago. So I don't feel the need to. I'm not seeking others' approval at this point, other than my wife. We gotta keep my wife happy.
Oh yeah.
You know, happy wife, happy life.
That's
But other
exactly
than that, I'm only seeking happiness and success within myself and creating what I want for my family in my lifetime. Like that's
Exactly.
So that's all, it's about me in that regard. And the question was, one more time, you asked me to.
Going forward, the choices that you make,
What choices?
you just stated you have a focus now. It's the family.
Yeah.
It's your career path that you're going on. So do you think that you can make those choices and avoid that internal need to be loved?
Yeah, it's those things are way in the past. But the scarcity mindset, that is, to release that, like that's new for me, which I've done now. I think I've come to that self-realization that it's self-talk
Yeah,
in a negative way.
exactly.
And I've learned through being here and just talking to myself and working through it and looking at the past, you're creating problems for yourself that aren't even real.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even real. And so once I recognized that, and I looked at all the evidence in my life, now if I start kind of even going down that path, I immediately reflect on where I'm at now, and things are going to head in the right direction because my mindset's right.
And that's exactly what we've been talking about. One real quick thing, you did mention something pretty significant here. You said when those negative thoughts come into play, you think there's a correlation between, we talked about the metaphor of the tunnel and all the obstacles. You think those negative emotions and those negative thoughts helped contribute to those obstacles?
Absolutely. There were rocks in my shoes. Just they were negative. They absolutely contribute because they stopped me from pursuing things I wanted to academically.
Excellent.
When I really think back, I could have been approaching what I wanted to do with rehab counseling a lot longer ago,
Mm-hmm.
a lot more time in the past. I wanted to do this, and I had that fear of the money.
Of course.
And so now
That's
I'm
a
at the
driving
phase.
force.
Yeah, at the phase I'm at in my life now. I realized that there were a few years in my life that I could have had this done already. If I had this self-realization that, I'm creating all these fears within myself and they're not real. Just go for it. So I don't have any regrets
Good.
because I'm not going to beat myself up over it.
No.
You just learn from it, and that's where I'm at now. I felt like I've learned from it, and I'm ready to create what I want now, and it's the perfect timing.
And that's fantastic to hear. Do you feel confident that when maybe some of those negative thoughts or emotions come creeping in, you have a good game plan and the mindset to keep those?
Yeah, it's a great question. I do. And I'm telling you, the best thing that ever happened to me was reflecting on anything I wanted to create in my life and what happened what was the end result. And it always ends up I created what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wonderful revelation.
yeah, and so anytime I go that route, I just think about that. And lately, it's been immediately washes away any negative thoughts or energy that I create upon myself.
Excellent. Well, Jake, from the first session until now, I don't just see a little bit of change, I see a 180.
Yeah,
And I think
I feel it.
And I think the biggest takeaway for you is that you understand that it's not going to be a smooth sailing, no pothole, easy road down to where your goals are.
Yeah,
But I think you've done enough internally to say, I know where I'm going, I know how to get there, and I know how to avoid those obstacles.
absolutely.
So if anything, if let's say an obstacle comes in that tunnel again, you have the power to be able to say, not today, type of thing. So knowing that, the last things we want to talk about and we want to do is, I'm really happy about this because when we first came in, you were anxious is not a strong enough word about what your academic goal was. We had academic, we had financial, and we had career.
Yeah,
Financial career, I think we got set. I gave you a worksheet to work on for your student education plan.
yeah,
So what we're going to do is we're going to go over that. We're going to map out, well, you've mapped out the
Yeah.
remaining classes that you have. We're going to put that into action. I think we got a clear saying 4-lane highway to your goals coming up here. So, and then we're going to go over that post survey that we talked about. After that, I think you're set and ready, my friend. I don't think there's any other issues, but my door is always open. I want to stay in contact with you. I think that you've done some great work, and I, actually look forward to seeing the greatness that you do coming up here soon.
I'm excited. I feel empowered to really take control of my own masters, and programs, and
Best feeling.
I'm the master of my own fate. So I'm
Exactly.
excited, and I appreciate you.
Hey, I'm always here for you. my
Cool,
friend.
man.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Thanks, Corey.
It's good to see you
It's been
again.
great.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, see ya.
See ya.